Upfront and Outspoken with Bob Williams. If you love the Constitution,
man is not free unless government is limited.
If you love freedom,
as government expands, liberty contracts.
If you believe in personal responsibility, if you believe America is still the greatest nation on earth, then get ready for an experience you'll never forget. This is Upfront and Outspoken. Here's your host, Bob Williams.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
And welcome back. This is, of course, Upfront Outspoken. I'm your host, Bob Williams. Glad to have you along with me on this Tuesday. Let's get right into the weather. For today, cloudy, then gradually becoming mostly sunny with a high near 47 degrees. Tonight, clear with a low around 26. And for your Wednesday, mostly sunny, high near 42 degrees. On the phone with me, as promised, is our own weatherman, Scott Clark. I brought Scott on not only to tell us what it is like outside right now, but we're going to be talking more about something that is, well, going to be happening to all you listeners right there in Poteau. Good morning, Scott, and welcome to the program.
Good morning.
So how cold is it out there right now?
Well, it's cold. I'm standing out in it, and the regular temperature is showing 41 degrees. It dropped from this morning when I sent you the temperature in.
Wow. Going to be a cold day. Now, Scott, the reason I brought you on today is you have something going on, or something in the works, shall I say, that is going to be very interesting for the citizens right there in Poteau. Now, if anybody doesn't know where Poteau is, it's about 25 miles away from our studio to the to the south. I got to get it right. My directions are all screwed up. Scott, tell people what you are trying to achieve.
I'm trying to get a online radio station locally, online radio station started here in Poteau, Oklahoma, and I want to join in with the Starcom radio network. That's what I want to do, and I'm wanting programming just like Bob here has and everything, and all set up real nice, just like Bob's.
The question a lot of people have is, when I first got into radio 30 plus years ago, the first question, people ask me is, are you crazy? What possessed you to start your own radio station?
Well, I'll tell you what possessed me to start my own radio station. I've been listening to DJs all of my life, radio announcers all of my life. The local radio announcer here is Leroy Billy. He's another one that showed me what the radio station looks like inside, and I've been interested ever since. Ever since I was a kid, I've been hearing announcers on the radio, and it just made me interested in it.
When you said that when you were a kid, you listened to all different types of DJs and all that, was there any particular DJ when you were growing up that stands out in your mind that kind of molded you to becoming a DJ?
Well, I listened to a DJ on KTCS radio. That's out of Fort Smith. There's different ones that they have, and the one that I always heard, on one of them, his name was Adam Crook, and he had a deep voice, a real deep voice, and he'd come on there and say, "This is KTCS, blah, blah, blah," and that's what kind of inspired me. Plus, I've been watching YouTube videos of Wolfman Jack, and that's even more encouraging.
When I was growing up, when I first, when I was a little bitty tyke, Wolfman Jack was an up and riser, and it was just the way he presented himself that, for me, he became kind of my radio personality idol, and I always told myself someday I would always want to know what it would be like behind that microphone and being able to do what Wolfman Jack does. Well, now 30 plus years later, I'm still in the business. I love it, for you, This will be really the first time, the first real endeavor for you to get behind a mic, to host your own program, to have your own radio station. How's that making you feeling, knowing that you're within just a hair's breadth of owning your own station?
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And it takes time to get everything set up, too. You can't just do it overnight either.
Exactly. I mean, look at me. I'm 30 plus years in the business, and I'm finally in control of a network. I love it. You know, I love the business. I love radio. How's your wife reacting to the fact of you starting your own station?
She don't really know it yet, Bob.
Uh-oh, I think I just got you in trouble, didn't I?
Nah, she's knowing that I've been doing a little bit on the Zello channel, helping with KKRP, Laser 1610, and on the Zello channels and stuff. And I told her before I was always interested, but I told her here a while back that I was thinking about it and stuff, and of course she just said,
Kind of like my first wife. I mean, when I first got into radio, way back then, I was newlywed, and my wife was like, "You got to be kidding me! You know, are you nuts?" You know, but the thing is over the years, you know, from my own personal experience, I've had the pleasure of interviewing some of the greats in the business, in the entertainment business, and as well as in politics and all that. What is going to be the primary focus for your radio station? Are you going to be more in tune to what is going on in Poteau, or are you going to be concentrating more on national stories?
National and locally. You got to do locally first before nationally, because local counts. Local stations counts.
You know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. I'm glad you said it that way, because what we're finding out in mainstream media, and I'm talking about the big conglomerate radio stations, Clear Channel and all them, they are drifting away from the local news and the local people, the mom and pop stores, the stop sign that's got to go up, the street light that's burnt out, the guy that beat up his wife, the local stories. And in some ways, I know you're going to be just starting up in operations. Do you have a set plan as to how you're going to cover some of those local stories?
It's going to be hard to, and I'm going to try the best I can, and I might even have to have your help on some of it too, Bob, when we first get started and stuff.
Well, we'll be happy to help. We'll help you out any way we can. Technical support. Yeah. We'll do whatever we can. We'll make our news van available. This is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Local community news, and this is where local small radio stations, such as what Scott's trying to achieve, what KKRP did initially here in Callington, and which has now branched out to the entire Starcom radio network. And if anybody doesn't know who the hell we are, I don't know where you've been. We have 19 radio stations across the country, all dealing with community. And this is what Scott is trying to do. He's bringing community radio back to the communities where it belongs and concentrating on the efforts of the community itself. Now, Scott, I know every radio station is going to have time periods where they're going to be airing music and that. Have you figured out what type of a musical format you're going to have? You're going to have rock, you're going to have country. What are you going to have?
I'm going to have classic country, rock, like I say, rock, and a little bit of Elvis Presley, and a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. I like country and classic rock, classic country and classic rock, mostly. But I play other kinds of music too, a variety. You got to be a station. You got to play a variety of music. See.
Exactly, and that's what we do here. When we have our breaks where we can play music, it's a mixture. It's a mixture of classic rock along with country music, along with independent artists. This is the thing. I know you're in the process right now. You've got a couple of computers. You're getting worked on and all that. Have you set up, are you just going to stay internet, or do you eventually plan on, as we say in the business, putting up a stick, which means putting up an actual transmitter and antenna?
Yes, I thought about it. You give me the good idea. The last time we talked at your station about the transmitter, and I might actually have you to help me set it up too, Bob.
See, there you go. There it is. There you go, folks. That'll be station number 20. And we're glad you're coming on board. That you know that it is our responsibility as a people here. I mean, if you have a concern about your community, stations such as Scott's, that's going to be coming up and online here probably next year, and the entire network, we serve the community. We serve the mom, pop, the blue collar worker. We're not into conglomerates, and we're not big into corporations. We love the independents. Now, the question I have is, by being an independent radio station, do you see your station gradually building a very good audience in your local area, or do you see that people are going to go, oh, okay, they're here, what do I do?
Well, I want to build a good audience here in Poteau and surrounding areas, and also even on the internet with the local repeater or local transmitter. You could have a audience around the block here, and they sit back and listen, or you could have audience on the internet too at the same time, listening all over the world. Locally stuff.
Definitely a page out of our playbook. What can I say? Stealing a page out of our playbook. It works. Hey, it works. That's how we do it. We stream. We have our transmitter. We in all of our communities. So you can hear every station online. You can hear them if they're in the communities. This is great. This is great. And I love the fact that you have chosen the Starcom radio network as your base for getting a lot of the programs that you're going to be carrying. Have you decided yet as to any particular program, or are you going to basically carry pretty much everything that they have?
Pretty much everything they have, especially Ed Till and the other shows. It's been carried on Starcom Radio Network and KKRP. Carry most of all of them. Well, actually all of them, Bob. And plus get time in there to play the music and everything too.
Now you introduced us, and I have to thank Scott Clark for this. Scott introduced us to Andrew Hornick, who does our weekend wrap-up show. It aired Sunday for the very first time at 3 p.m. It's 3 to 4 p.m. every Sunday. And I have to thank Scott for introducing us to Andrew. And Andrew got his start with you through Zello, am I right?
Yes, it's through Zello. You can actually go through Zello and go to www.zello.com and download it on your Android phone or laptop computer. And if you go in there, folks, go in there and look up KKRP Laser 1610, and you'll go right to it. And he has also a Friday show. It's called the Drive at 5 or something like that. He does every evening on Fridays.
And Andrew, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the beauty of today's world when it comes to radio. Andrew is in Georgia. That's right. Andrew's in Georgia. His show is heard here on Zello, and you hear him here every Sunday. This makes it sound like he's right here in the studios, but what it is we actually have a podcast that we air of his show. That's the beauty of today's technology. A lot of the hosts that we have here in the Starcom Radio Network are not in the studio. They're not here in the studio. They are, like Ed Till. He broadcasts out of Satellite Beach, Florida. He's in the process of starting WSBX, and I encourage everybody to go to Indiegogo and look it up. as in the process of doing that. We have shows that come out of Eugene, Oregon. We have shows that come out of Brooklyn, New York, even Anchorage, Alaska. The beauty of the internet is you do not have to be in the studio anymore. And Andrew's show is one of those shows. And Andrew is only 16 years old. But when you hear his show, I got news for you folks, you would never believe it. Now, how did you hook up with Andrew? I mean, I've always been curious about that.
Well, this is a surprise even to you, Bob, how I hooked up with him. I set up a channel. I didn't know if you knew it or not, but I set up a channel called KKRP, Laser 1610, and it wasn't very long. I added everybody, all my friends to channels, and he was one of my friends on the list. I added him on the channel, and I didn't think nothing about it, Bob. He come to me and asked me could he do radio show on the channel, and I said, heck yes, or hell yes.
And he's done a great job. I mean, this guy is great. I got to admit it. Now, before we go, we've got about 5 minutes before I have to let you go because Ed Till will be coming up here at the bottom of the hour. But I do have to ask you, are you going to be getting more of your family involved? I mean, your wife. I mean, definitely. Hopefully, you can get her involved because she does a lot of work. She coming up here. Are you going to be getting the family involved in this, or are you going to keep this, just kind of like to yourself and then work from there?
She probably won't be interested in radio, but I'll probably have to do it all myself, so that's the way it goes. But anyways, I'll probably have to end up doing it myself because she got a store. She helps the lady out, and she general store and all that good stuff too, so she'll be busy.
Now, one thing about that store, they have a special event coming up here, and I promised you I was going to promote it, and because of the way the news has been today, I just haven't had a chance to get around to it. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about this store and what is coming up here. I believe you said on the 14th.
Yeah, November the 14th is the free clothing and household giveaway at the 206 Grady Avenue, Poteau, Oklahoma, at the Giving Grace General Store. And
that they're going to be giving away clothes and that, or that's basically what it is, correct? It's kind of like a charitable contribution to the community.
It's a charitable contribution, and it's clothes and household items, and we have free refreshments like cookies and juice and stuff like that for the people. It comes and wants to.
Well, if you get a stereo amplifier, put it aside for me.
I told my wife the other day about that. I wanted to. If she got one of those, I'd put it away for you and give it to you.
The reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, is we were set up to go to the Wrong Turn Haunted House last month. As everybody knows, we aired the Halloween special, but what we wanted to do was be able to add spooky music before people came in. Well, unfortunately, we went to test the equipment and we found out our amplifier died. It died just before Halloween. Now, before I let you go, Scott, I do want to ask you, I know you're busy. You're going to be working, you work a full-time job, plus you're going to be doing this, besides. How are you going to monitor what goes on with the station? Is there an app that you're going to have on your phone to let you know that the station's doing okay, or what are the plans that way?
Yes, what I'm going to have to do is go through TuneIn app or one of the set up a site or whatever. Especially go through TuneIn app and see if it's working or not, because you can hear it live on TuneIn app too, real good. Or that's the only way I could do it, because I probably won't be able. I'll have the internet and stuff through probably cable company, satellite company, or something. I'll figure out something, but the TuneIn app is how I'll probably be monitoring it off and on.
Well, I want to first off congratulate you on your entrepreneurship of getting your own radio station, and I also want to welcome you to the Starcom Radio Network once it gets up and online. So once again, Scott, our time unfortunately is up, and I do once again, I want to welcome you to the Starcom Radio Network, and we hope to get your station up and running here, by the first of the year or maybe shortly thereafter.
Yes, I hope so. But like I said, Bob, it's going to take time to get everything together and stuff, and the computer he's working on, he's going to, like I said, it's going to have a hard drive and all that good stuff. So have to have one. So it's going to take quite a bit of time to get everything. Money-wise, too, on the Internet. It's going to take money to get the Internet going.
Now, there you go. All right. You're going to need some help. All right.
Yes.
Now, people want to help you out to get your station up and running, and they want to say, "Okay, Scott, I'm going to give $5. I want to give you $10." How would they do it? Would they do? Do you have a phone number where you can say, "Okay, here's my phone number. Give me a call. I'll tell you how to make the donation." If you've got a phone number, quick shoot it across.
Okay, it's 918-721-3275, or you can get a hold of Bob at KKRP, too.
There you go. We'll do everything we can. Scott, thanks for coming on, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Okay, talk to you later, Bob. Thanks for having me on.
Not a problem.
Okay, bye.
And with that, it's time for us to get out of here. And stay tuned, because what can I tell you? Ed Till is coming up next. Don't go away.